feeling really good. I feel like I've hit the ground running over there. I feel like, I've set a good foundation through spring, and, I'm just ready to keep building on it as time goes on. Just being able to play on the field with some great guys and, just make the most of every moment and, basically give myself a trajectory of having a great, successful career.
University of Washington football program will be dealing with a key loss at receiver. Denzel Boston, you just heard from, goes to the NFL after the Cleveland Browns drafted him in the second round, 39th overall. And Arielle, you got a chance to catch up with Denzel, obviously, over the weekend of the softball game.
Yeah, obviously, he was there for a good cause, playing softball for charity, meeting all the fans. He said that was the part that was the best, was just meeting all those fans from really his hometown. Like, he's from the South Sound, and so it was kind of cool to just be there at Cheney Stadium as well. But also talking to him about some football. He said that he's really looking forward to, obviously, his rookie year, but definitely talked about how he thinks that he set up the Huskies for success. Yeah,
he did, and raised the standard even there. There's been a standard, of course, at Husky football for a long time. Certain positions seem to have all the higher standards, great receiving core, great history of receivers there, of course, quarterback, running back, just some great talent that has come through that school, and Denzel is the latest, and look forward to seeing him. He's got an NFL-type, prototype body, and looking forward to seeing him make that jump.
Yeah, I think actually the Browns is probably a great place for him, too. Like, I know that they are always the laughingstock of the NFL, and you never know who their quarterback situation is going to be. But as a young player, why not go to a team that's building? And you get a lot of reps, you get a lot of opportunities. You have the chance to be the star of that team right out of the gate.
Yeah, you bring up the quarterback situation in Cleveland, and the Browns fans will tell you, it's just a revolving door out there. Anybody who watches the NFL can tell it's been a revolving door quarterback for the Browns. So you do hope Boston and the rest of those guys, for that matter, get a good quarterback in there and have someone that can stick in there for years to come. Summer's the time when all the preseason rankings come out. Huskies are ranked as high as 15th by The Athletic. Others have them somewhere in the 20s. Head coach Jedd Fisch has also made a prominent list. He's been named to the preseason watch list for the Dodd Trophy, honoring the top coach in college football. Fisch is entering his third season at Washington. His team is picked to finish fifth in the Big Ten this upcoming season. And with that, let's take a look at the Huskies' schedule. They open with 4 straight home games. Have a good chance of winning. Sorry, Cougs, but they have a good chance of winning all 4 of these games. So, chance to get to 4-0 out of the gate. But Game 5, Arielle, they jump right into the fire with a road game at USC. The Trojans currently ranked 14th in the preseason.
Yeah, and if I could just go back to Jedd for just a moment, I think it's a no-brainer that he was put into that conversation of potential coach of the year. I think that what he's done to turn this team around, because they obviously came off that national championship game, and then they had to kind of rebuild. They lost everyone. The first year that Jedd came in here, I think he had 9 players. Is that right? Something along those lines?
He lost everybody.
Everyone.
Yeah.
And so for him to just build from the ground up, I actually think it's very impressive what he's been able to do. I did read somewhere on one of the main lists that he wasn't even listed as one of the top 25 coaches in college football right now. And I thought that was actually kind of egregious.
Yeah, I think that he's done a fabulous job with these guys. It's not even dealing with the Damon Williams debacle, so to speak, in the offseason when he was going to sign his big NIL deal and leave Washington after he already had signed a deal with Washington. And I thought the way he put his arms around Damon and said, you know what, we'll get through this together, let's deal with it, and let's move on. There are so many things that go into being a great head coach at the college level, and it has so much more to do with things off the field and making sure you've got these young men on track, and he's done a great job.
100%. He's always really good with relationships, and that's huge with college coaches, obviously, when it comes to recruiting and maintaining and keeping players around. But off the field, you mentioned how successful he is off the field. He comes from an NFL background, and he brings his NFL leadership into that locker room and to the whole facility. They were the first team to do all kinds of things with, everyone has GMs now, but they have GMs. They have they run it like an NFL team, and he says that's what he wants to do, prepare them for the NFL, and I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I just love the fact that the college football programs have GMs now, and you can't blame them. It's almost a necessary position with all these NIL deals. So let's get back to the schedule. The Huskies are home against Iowa, followed by games at Purdue and Nebraska, a couple of struggling programs there. After that, Huskies run into a gauntlet. They host Penn State, then 2 games later they host defending national champion Indiana and end the season at Oregon. The Ducks are 6th in the preseason polls. Indiana right now 5th. And let's just throw this out there. They're preseason polls. They're just good for people like us to just chat about. But honestly, 2 weeks into the season, you wonder, why was this team ranked that high? Why was this team not ranked that high?
And I think Indiana's going to be the team you're going to wonder, why were they ranked so high? And it's because they're obviously coming off of a national championship win. So, of course, you have to give them some clout. But, I mean, I think they lost a ton of players to the NFL. And I just don't know that they're going to be able to replicate that same success. So when you say that there's a gauntlet coming in, I mean, Penn State's always a tough get, no matter what. I think Indiana, I mean, we don't know. We haven't seen these teams play in 2026. But as of just what we're seeing from the rosters, I don't know that it's going to be as much of a tough task as we would originally think.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the programs alone. When you talk about Penn State, Indiana, Oregon, of course.
Oregon's always a bear.
Sitting there sixth. But Cignetti at Indiana, I mean, the guy knows how to put together a winning roster. And with this transfer portal and the NIL deals, you can rebuild a college football program like that these days if you have the support and the cash from the boosters. So it'll be really interesting to see how some of these teams in the Big Ten play out. But again, we talk about the job Jedd Fisch has done. I mean, the Huskies have only been in the Big Ten for a few years now, and it's like, that is a massive undertaking. We're going to talk about the Pac-12 in just a second, but you're talking about the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I mean, the programs in there, there's always like a top six and a bottom six, or, so to speak. But, the programs in there, it is tough week in and week out.
Yeah, and I think that they really did a great job their first year in the Big Ten, kind of just putting a statement out there that said, like, we're not afraid of you, beating Michigan here at home. And I just think that it's like they're capable of playing this level of football. And it's just, but you're right. I mean, there's always going to be like the Rutgers of the Big Ten or the Marylands of the Big Ten. So it's I think it's there for the taking, and it's just a really large conference with a lot of top-heavy teams. And so if you could beat a couple of those top-heavy teams, then you're really in the mix.
Yeah, great treat for Huskies fans. They always check that home schedule to see who's coming to town, and when you have Penn State, Indiana coming to town, it's kind of cool to know that those are a couple of games you want to circle for sure. All right, it's a whole new era in Pullman as Kirby Moore enters his first year as head coach at Washington State. We've had a chance to talk to Kirby on several occasions over the last few months. His dad, Tom, longtime coach at Prosser High School. His brother, Kellen, played quarterback for the Mustangs, went on to Boise State, tremendous career there, in the NFL as well, before slipping into the coaching ranks, and now he's a head coach for the New Orleans Saints. And Kirby is carving his own path. He was the offensive coordinator for Missouri last season. Now he's back in the Northwest as a first-time head coach.
My parents are from the Midwest. My dad got the job in Prosser in 1986. And growing up, coming to Cougar spring practice, right? Mike Price, Bill Doba, Rose Bowls, and now having the opportunity to lead the program. It's something that I probably pinch myself every day.
Kirby and the Cougs are ushering a new era of Pac-12 football. There are 8 football programs in the conference this season. And, I've had a chance to talk to Kirby, as I said, and hit the excitement from this guy. This is just a great move. No matter what happens with Kirby, I think he's the right man at this time, and I hope he has a lot of success out there. Yeah,
and there's something to say about family trees and the way they work that way. I mean, it's not necessarily just a nepotism thing. Usually it actually means that they've been working together and they kind of take things from each other. His dad, obviously very successful here in this state. His brother has been super successful with teams, won a Super Bowl with the Eagles before getting his head coaching job with the Saints. And that team has taken such a turnaround since he got there. So I think there's something to be said for just the way that the families communicate and they can bounce off of each other. And I imagine that Kirby is in a great position to start leading this football team. Yeah, well, he's shown a lot of promise as an offensive coordinator, both at Missouri and Fresno State. He is ready to take on a head coaching job. This is a perfect opportunity for Kirby Moore. Let's take a look at the Washington State football schedule. After the Apple Cup on September 6th, the Cougs travel to Kansas State. Then they're back in Pullman for 3 straight home games against Duquesne, Arizona, and Fresno State. Yeah, it's a great position for him to come into his first head coaching role in this type of schedule with this new conference, because it's weak. It's a weak conference, so it's a good way to really just test the waters and see how good you are. I mean, right at the top, I think they're probably going to lose to Washington. I'm sorry, Coug fans. Like, it's just it's battling against a heavyweight there. But after that, I mean, K-State's actually pretty good. Yep. But then you got Duquesne. I think that you have a chance to at least start the season off with a couple wins. Yeah, I don't know in all my years if I've ever put up a schedule that says Duquesne. I mean, in football, yeah, in basketball, exactly. Sure. All right, let's go through the rest of the schedule there. They got Utah State, as we talked about, and then they hit the road for games at Utah State, Oregon State, back home for Boise State, followed by a game at San Diego State.
Cougs then host former Seahawks head coach Jim Mora. He enters his first year as head coach at Colorado State. The Cougars wrap up the season at Texas State. So again, just 8 football programs in the Pac-12 this upcoming season, but it's great to see the conference back on its feet and starting to rebuild for sure. Just a reminder that Apple Cup is on King 5 Sunday, September 6th. They'll kick it off at 1 p.m. We will stream live before and after the game on King 5 Plus, little pre and post shows.